Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to a special little video where I am going to go over stats in Final Fantasy II, which is something that can be a little confusing, especially since it's pretty different from basically every other Final Fantasy game and how it works. This is the PSP version. I'm going to be going over some information on the NES version and probably also the Pixel Remaster version as well, but we're going to start here and then I'll go on to the other ones. So first things first, let's take a look at the stats and everything. Specifically this page here. As you see, let's start on the left. We have attack. 23, that's our attack. Pretty easy to understand. Accuracy. This can be a little confusing. The 3-63% does not mean our accuracy is 3 to 63%. The first number, the 3, means we have essentially 3 attacks. And those 3 attacks are at a 63% accuracy. So the higher the number, the more attacks you have. See Guy, his accuracy is 5. Now I'm sure you're wondering, where does accuracy come from? Well, it comes from weapon level. So you see Guy has 2 battle axes on, so his axe level will be increasing and is currently at level 5, so our accuracy with our base attack, I guess you could say, is at 5. So let's go back to Firion. So the higher weapon level something is, the better the more attacks you will have per round, essentially, which is nice. Next is, defense. That's our defense. Pretty easy. Which I think has something to do with stamina, but we'll go over that later. Like a mixture of your equipment and your stamina. But next is evasion. Same kind of deal. The 1 to 5% does not mean, of course, we have a 1 to 5% chance to evade. That means we have essentially 1 chance to evade. So say Firion attacked himself with his 3 attacks. Our evasion would only count, our 5% evasion would only affect one of those, the first of those 3 attacks. So take our 5% chance to evade into account. Our accuracy for the first attack, if Firion tried to attack himself, would be 58%. Then all other subsequent hits would be at 63%. To increase, I imagine, now increasing how many evasion chances you get is probably tied to agility. But I haven't gotten to the point to actually see that increase. Evasion is increased by having a shield on and, of course, your agility. So you see, a guy's agility is pretty bad, and he has 2 weapons on instead of a shield, so he's not really going to be able to evade. But there is a way to get around that, and I'll go over that when I talk increasing stats. Magic defense. Magic defense is basically magic evasion. Again, we have a 40% chance to evade spells. And how this works, let's take a look at our spells here. Say, I don't know if I think it only, magic defense only counts for debuffs. I could be wrong. But say protect was a debuff. It is level 2. What it does is it hits twice. Like when I cast protect, it tries to hit the target 2 times to see if it actually works. I don't know exactly what like the base accuracy is. Let's just say it's like 80% regularly. So the first chance to get protect in this hypothetical situation would be reduced by 40%, making it a 40% chance to be hit with protect or whatever debuff, poison, sleep, anything like that. But we only have 1 chance right now to get that. So the higher level so essentially it is better to always level up your spells. The higher level spell you got, the better chance it will actually work. Of course, that will also increase the cost. So next, let's go over our beautiful stats: strength, stamina, spirit, agility, intelligence, and magic. And I guess we could also talk about HP and MP. Let's start with HP and MP, because those are pretty easy. HP especially is very easy in the PSP version. All you have to do is at a fixed rate, your HP will increase. That's it. And it is increased by your stamina. So next time I get a quote-unquote HP level up, I will get 12 HP. Because that's how much stamina I have. You can get more stamina by more hits you take. If you were playing the NES version, it would be a little bit different. To increase HP, you still have to take damage, but with how it's an NES game, so it's fun. If you heal yourself at all in battle in the NES version, it just takes away the damage that you took, so you won't get that quote-unquote experience towards an HP level up. So you basically never really want to heal in the NES version if you want health, but thankfully this happens at a fixed rate. MP, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure is based off of how many times you use MP. It's either like how many times you cast spells or how much MP you use. I think there's also some sort of randomness into it. Like every time I use a spell or use MP, it has a chance of giving me a MP increase. Now MP is tied to magic, and magic is increased, spoiler alert, by using magic. So pretty much anything you use will increase your magic. So whenever I get another MP level up, Furion's MP will increase by 9, Maria's 11. If had Guy with any spells, it'd be 5. Minwoo, 42. So yeah. Those are relatively easy to understand, I'd say. Just the only problem that to me when it comes to magic stats, I feel like they're a little bit harder just because it's just easy to swing your sword and just kill stuff a lot easier than taking time to go down to magic, hit the enemy with magic, waste your MP, and you only start out with like 10, I think, at the start for everybody. So it goes through really fast. You can really only cast like 10 spells at first, and then yeah. But yeah. So we got HP and MP down. Next is strength. Strength is also very easy. It's just hitting stuff with your weapon, essentially. So Guy has 20 strength just because, well, he's pretty much always going to be the character that does physical attacks. Strength is very easy to increase. Just one walk back and forth and just hit that attack button. Easy peasy. Stamina is also not too bad because stamina is increased by how much is increased from taking damage. So as long as you're taking damage, your stamina will increase. Not too bad. Spirit is related to white magic. So the more white magic you use, cure, blink, life, protect, shell, those are white magic spells. I'm not sure what teleport is considered, but using those will increase your spirit, which is why Furion has a little bit higher spirit, because he has more white magic spells than Maria does. Next is intelligence, which is tied to black magic, which is why Furion doesn't have as high intelligence as Maria, because she has more black magic than Furion does. So if you want higher intelligence, increase that fire, and use black magic like fire, thunder, blizzard. So I'm not sure what teleport is considered. Anything that you think would be black magic related, debuffs, stuff like that, I think are all tied to intelligence. Could be wrong about debuffs, but next is agility, which can be kind of a problem to get if you do not have blink. Blink increases your just evasion in general. I don't know if it increases it if Guy has 0 evasion. I don't know how much it increases it by, and if it's at 0, if it increases it at all. I imagine it does, but Basically, Blink is a very important skill if you want to get your agility up higher. So yeah, as soon as you can, I would definitely get Blink, start leveling it up so you can actually get it to work more often, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, magic is increased by using magic. So the more magic you use in general, it'll increase your magic. So yeah, that is the basics of the stats. So I'm going to show off a quick little battle on how I personally do this. So we have a single enemy here. Usually if there were a lot, I would kill everything except for one enemy. So right now, since I'm working on Blink, I cast Blink, have Maria working on Thunder. You defend, and you defend. So Maria hits us with Thunder, deals some damage. So that damage will help us with our stamina, since everybody's taking damage. And of course, since we're getting Blink on, we could potentially dodge attacks from this guy, which is always very nice. So, see if I can't get Blink on everybody just for the heck of it. No, miss. And this is the reason you would want to level up, because right now, since Blink is at level 2, it's only checking to see if it hits my party members 2 times. So the higher, let's just cure, just to keep everybody up. Since, thankfully, like I said, in this version, healing does not reduce your potential stat gains, like if you were playing the NES version. I also imagine that is how it works in the Pixel Remaster version. I imagine that version is a lot closer to this version than the other one. So we have Blink on everybody, but I still want to keep working on Blink. So keep working on Thunder, defend, and defend. I'm only going to do this a couple more times to show it off. This is what I do when I'm trying to train, increase my magic stats. So, yeah, Blink, MP increase, Spirit increase, Stamina increase because we got hit, Stamina, Magic because we got hit, Spirit increase because he used Cure a couple times. But there we go. Now we have quite a bit of MP. And Fury is actually above because I think basically we got lucky with the MP increase. Because like I said, I think there is a little bit of randomness of when you get said increase. Yeah, there we go. Another good thing to see is, let's take a look at the bestiary. Simple enemy, leg, evasion, no evasion. Don't have to worry about him ever really evading our attacks. As long as we actually hit with our regular attack. You know, like I said, we only have like 60-something% to hit. So as long as we hit that 60-something%, we'll hit this guy. Magic defense is 50, whatever. Enemies, Hornets have a little bit of evasion, nothing too crazy. Same thing as Sasquatch. These guys have a bit higher evasion, so these guys are going to be a little bit harder to hit physically. With a single attack. As you see, I mean, we have characters with 3, 4, or even 5 attacks, so this isn't really too big of an issue. Land Turtle's a little bit different, you know, got 2 attacks, evasion. Magic evasion's a lot higher with 2. Yeah, as you see, this is a good way to like see some enemy stats, so that you can like, okay, so this is why certain things aren't working or whatever. Hopefully this explained things decently. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. I'm going to, I'll be sure to look out for any questions people have. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this helps out. I am going to probably also show off a little bit of the Pixel Remaster if I feel it's any different. And the NES version, because there are, like I said, there are some The biggest difference is definitely between the NES version and this version. If you're playing the GBA version, what I said for this game should apply. The GBA version and the PSP version are basically the exact same game, outside of like graphics. And like I said, I imagine the Pixel Remaster that came out very recently is pretty similar to this version as well when it comes to some of the quality of life changes. But yeah, I'll probably see you guys in the NES version, so I could talk about those really quick, and then probably show off the Pixel Remaster version, the stats and all that stuff real quick too. So yeah, I'll see you guys there. Alright, here we are in the NES version of Final Fantasy 2, fan translation. So there aren't too many differences, aren't like a crazy amount of differences, so this should be pretty quick. A lot of the things are still the same, like damage, hit percentage, blah, blah, blah. The only thing that I'm kind of curious about is what absorb means. Anyways, the big thing to note with the NES version is increasing certain stats will decrease other stats, and then this affects the NES version and the PS1 version, not the PSP, the PS1 version. So if you increase spirit, it will increase your strength will decrease. I think for this translation, will is spirit. So if your will increases, your strength will decrease. If your strength increases, your intelligence will decrease. And when intelligence increases, vitality or endurance or whatever translation you have, that will decrease as well. So it's a little, things are a little, you're basically more defined in a role at that point. Yeah, that's because, you know, once you start increasing, say I start increasing strength, my intelligence will start going down, so I really can't be using intelligence-based stuff with Furion or Maria if I were to do that. So you're a little more defined in roles in the NES version, but it's I can't imagine it's too big of a deal. It's just something to keep in mind if you are playing the NES version or the PS1 version, that increasing certain stats will decrease other stats. Yeah, that's really the big thing to keep in mind with this particular version of it. So I think in general, like levels, spells level up a little bit slower. Same thing as like weapon levels and everything. I think that increases a little bit slower, but everything else works about the same. There are some glitches, I think, like when, like if you got I feel like if I remember, if I got like a strength increase or like let's agility. I think agility is what it is. Like if I got an agility increase and it increased my evasion, it wouldn't change it right away for some reason because it's Final Fantasy 2, and you have to like unequip your current equipment and put it back on. If I remember correctly, there's some weird glitches in this version. It's a little more glitchy. This version is a lot more broken. Thankfully, this version, I would say, it's more easy to break for you if you were to play this. It's a lot easier to mess around with things and break things in a more beneficial way were you to do that. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about this version. I will meet you guys very quickly in the Pixel Remaster version. So yeah, I will see you guys there. Alright, here we are in the Pixel Remaster version of Final Fantasy II, and one thing I forgot to bring up in the other versions is, and it applies to all of them, when it comes to stuff like evasion and everything is the stuff that we have equipped naturally. So let's remove, as you see, if I remove the leather gloves, Furion's defense and magic defense will drop, but our evasion will increase. Essentially, it's not shown in this version. I think it might say something in the NES version. Each piece of equipment basically has like a weight stat to it. The heavier the equipment, the less evasion you will have. So basically, just try and keep things light on your characters, and they should have far better chances of actually evading. But that's the one big thing I forgot to say. Let's get into combat. I don't know much. Like I said, I imagine this game is a lot closer to the PSP version when it comes to things. There are some differences. As you can see, we actually see our skill levels. Our strength already increased by 1. So there's a good chance that stats might just be a lot easier to obtain in this version, because that was fast. Not really gonna do much, just fight some things real fast, and oh, we're poisoned. No biggie. If I can hit anything. Can't hit the broadside of a barn, I guess. We got skill increases. Our skill levels increased, but no stat increases or anything. How much money I got? Let's see how much a fire spell is. Probably more than I have. A little bit more. See if I can't get some more stat increases really quick. Let's defend. See if I can't take some damage. If they can ever hit me or deal any damage to me. All right. Oh yeah, I didn't learn any of the spells. Didn't learn Cure. It also seems like everybody has higher MP. I'm pretty sure a guy usually has 5. Or maybe I'm misremembering. Because I swore he usually doesn't have 10. No stat increases. So learn. Screw it. Whatever. I'm not really gonna be. I'm not too worried about this file. I just want to show some stuff off real quick. See if there's too many differences with how things work. Wait. Oh yeah, there's a fast forward function in this game. An auto attack, more like it. Which probably would honestly make grinding even easier in this version, just because I could have them spam their stuff. While I, yeah. Already, Maria got MP, magic increased. This seems a lot easier to get stuff that you want to get. And with the auto attack, this is probably going to be the easiest version of Final Fantasy II to actually, like, do anything with when it comes to getting stats and all of that. This is a lot faster than any of the other versions I've played when it comes to actually getting stuff. So, when you, auto attack's very nice in this version because it uses the last thing that you used. So, oh, shit. Run! Flee. I forgot to equip fire real quick. Let's give this to Furion. Now let's get into an encounter again. Oops. Didn't mean to open that. Alright, magic. Fire. Magic. Cure. We could have you on defend. And now we just put this on auto battle. And we're just going to be doing that until we run out of MP, I guess. Which this right here would make things so much easier to do anything, really. So, yeah, this version seems infinitely easier to do basically anything you really would want to do when it comes to grinding, because it saves you a lot of time when it comes to putting like the inputs in yourself, all of that. I did seriously consider playing the yeah, I already got MP again. Guy ain't getting anything though, but yeah, I did think about playing this version instead of the PSP version for my LP, but it doesn't have the bonus content, which I wanted to do. The only big noticeable improvement, I would say, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack in this version is a lot better than the all the other versions, I'd say. But yeah, that's how the stats basically work the same way that they work in the PSP version. The only difference really is that stats are a lot easier to get in this version, like a lot easier. Only been playing for like a little bit and already have quite a bit more MP. All of these things, it would be way easier to increase this at a very fast rate. So yeah, this version seems a lot easier to get stats and all that stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Again, if anybody has any questions about how stats work or anything, just feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer. There are some nice game facts and stuff out there that explain this stuff pretty well, so maybe I'll leave some in the description for this video or whatever. But yeah, that's going to be it. Feel free to ask questions. Hopefully this all made sense. There's a lot of information to take in when it comes to, but once you really start getting used to it, it's not too bad. It's just, you know, it's a little different. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. See ya.